Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
Pardon how I look, but I had just cleaned off my makeup and wound down for the night when I got a disturbing message on my campaign website. A woman in Alpharetta said they all just received notification that they will no longer be voting out the Alpharetta Public Library. They will be voting at the Turkish Islamic Center in Alpharetta. She said, "We do not want to go to an Islamic center to vote in an American election." I do not blame them. That is insanity, especially when the CAIR Super PAC, if you don't know what CAIR is, it's the Council on American and Islamic Relations, is putting money into elections. They dropped a whole bunch of money into Mamdani's election. There is a lot of truth to the fact that they are trying to get these Muslims elected. There are none running in Alpharetta, but they are trying to influence elections by donating money. That needs to be switched back to the library. That should not be happening.
Man, I sit here and I go, what in the world are we doing? And it's almost to drive us to war. Like, let's go to war. Here's why I say that. Here's what I said when I was looking at this specifically. They're purposely driving us to war. I want all you to focus on the leadership who are the enemy. They force us like slaves to their will. Tired yet? Yeah, me too. We are at the brink of this thing. I don't even know what to call it. What would you call it? White people, black people. You got white people that say they're not white, that are attacking white people and saying it's the whiteness that's doing it. We talked about this yesterday. And when we talk about CAIR, look, I was in the Middle East and Africa. I have lots of friends that are Muslim. You say, Joe, how do you have friends? How do you reconcile being friends with Muslims? And I will tell you, most of them are amazing people. They don't believe any of the nonsense that's going on. They have no desire to get involved in jihad. They have no desire to get involved in, they just want to love on people. They also have daughters that they don't pour acid on and force into forced marriages. And you have tons of Muslims whose daughters are marrying Christians, and they have these mixed families, kind of like back in the 80s when you had blacks and whites, and blacks hated you because your dad was black and whites hated you because your mom, I mean, the whole thing is just turned on its head. And you don't want to be the first one to the dance, but there's a lot of people to the dance. But that's not what this is about. This is about promoting and pushing extremism. You know, CAIR was first formed in 1994 in Washington, D.C. It's supposed to be for civil rights and advocacy. So we've been dealing with this for decades. This isn't a new phenomenon. But when you take stolen elections and you take the fact that the voice of the American people is never heard, then stuff is forced down our throat, then we find ourselves in a perpetual state of anger. And then with that, look at what else we get. We got our kids are confused, they're indoctrinated at a very high level. It's deliberately pushing us to the place of the brink of war. And we get told by these people that you're just not educated. But I am educated. I've read the Quran from cover to cover. I've read the Bible more times than I could tell you. I consider myself a pretty educated individual. I've read 2,500 or so books, maybe more. I know it's at least 2,500 because when I actually sat down and was like, okay, let's just look through the number of books that I have that I've gotten on Kindle and what I have on my Apple books. And just that is in over 1,000. And the books I read before that, and the books that I have that I currently have, and people often ask me questions and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why. And they're like, how did you know that? And I was like, I don't know, I read it like 10 years ago. But CAIR is different. They're supposed to promote justice, but they do the opposite. So it's like an organization inside the United States that tries to subvert everything about justice by promoting these dog whistles that are out there, like Islamophobia, which is how they came up with that term, and racism, and the whiteness. It all came from them. Them and these radical LGQP, whatever you want to call it, organizations that are run by these radicals on the Jewish side, the faithless, godless zealots. Two different objectives from both sides. Now, I want to remind you that Bibi was breaking bread with Hamas. Hamas knew they couldn't trust him, so they recorded it, but millions and millions of dollars went to Hamas too, in order to do harm to people in there. He was paying them millions of dollars to do harm to the people in Israel. And nobody wants to talk about this. Nobody wants to talk about the truth, that the people that get caught in the middle of all of this always are the Christians. And if you go back 1,000 years, yeah, I'm sure you could start talking to me about the 600s and the 800s and the 1200s, 600s specifically, because we can talk about the Crusades. And yet there's a lot of things that were done in the name of Christianity to destroy people and to conquer them. But that's not what's happening today. Christians have taken a more passive approach because pastors are, frankly, semi-retarded. And what we're left with now is a adaptation of our society to something that doesn't even look like anything we'd ever notice or recognize. And you could talk about that from just the streets, the homelessness that's everywhere, the new drugs that are put on the street, the lawyers that basically silence people with defamation suit here and slander suit here, and people are allowed to get away with it for the most part. Because then when you go to court, the judge gets to pick and choose winners and losers in the ballroom fight. And they're like, oh, no, that wasn't, you have this anti-SLAPP, so, you can't, it's not really, you can make up whatever you want. And then you have someone like this crazy woman who went after President Trump and said he slept with her inside of a supermarket or whatever in a bathroom, which didn't happen. Can't even remember the year that it happened, and they slap him with a $75 million judgment. Boop. And then let her sue again because he defamed her again by saying it never happened. And he's like, oh, boop, we'll do it again. It's not even real. Like we're not even in a real world right now. We have been quiet for so long. And when I look at what I've done in the Colorado, I look at what I've done related to election fraud, I know that there are people all over the country that are pissed off at the fact that you got this loudmouth in Colorado that can't stop talking about election fraud. And we sue him, we sue everyone around him, we try to silence him, we go to the tech companies, we tell them to silence him. We literally do everything we can to shut this guy up, and he won't shut up. They came to my house and tried to kill me. We poisoned him. How in the world did he know what kind of poison it was? How did he go? I mean, look, by the grace of God, I'm still here. But the more and more I look at it, the more and more improbable it is that I'm still here. And I keep talking and getting more and more popular as a podcast, which I didn't think was possible until I moved up another 2 points. Even though they censor me everywhere, I just keep getting more and more and more and more people that are like, hey, listen, we need to speak up. And it's giving people the ability to have courage and speak into their own communities and hope that maybe we'll get through this. But while all this is happening and President Trump is in office and now they're talking about influence peddling and all the things that are happening inside and President Trump has to be looking at himself going, what in the hell is wrong with you people? You said you wanted to do this to save America. And every time I lift my head up, you're over here stuffing your pockets full of candy from the White House, and you're over here stuffing dollars from donors in your pocket, acting like it's yours. Give it back to the American people. You're out of a job. You're out of a job. I'm putting you on notice. I don't even know what you're doing, Dan Pongino. I don't even know what that guy's doing. He's like, oh, I was doing so much sacrifice. He's not a sacrifice. Get out of here. But every time President Trump lifts his head, it's more grift and graft that comes against him. And everybody's like, President Trump, what are you doing? And then we go into Iran and we do all this stuff, and then, it feels like another proxy war, because it is. First of all, you have Ukraine. We still haven't solved that problem, but it's off the news. I mean, you see anything about Ukraine at all? At the same time, you got these organizations like CAIR. And you got Mamdani that's out there charging, another 6% tax on the wealthy, and saying, we're just going to steal every dollar we can. And basically, it's a slave trade. You're a sharecropper. When the government can come in and just say, I'm going to just charge you more, they'll just take more from you. And you're already paying 56 cents on the dollar, and you don't even look at the fact that it should be consumption-based, then all you're running is a communist society. And pretty soon, the people in this country, man, they're going to get tired of it. Like Colorado is ground zero for it, just so you know. They have stolen literally, this is the most tyrannical state in the entire country. Right here, Colorado. It's disgusting. You have the haves and the have-nots, and frankly, they are taking people's land, they are taking people's businesses, they are shutting people down. The call that I had this morning was about somebody trying to start up a charter school, and they have this group that at the state of Colorado that can decide. They're like, oh, I don't like your charter, get out of here, and you're not allowed to appeal it. So if a parent comes in and says, I want to try to start a charter school, they're like, yeah, no, get out. We have enough. Even though the need can't be met. And this one woman that I was on this phone with this morning had tried to start 17 charter schools. And this is the same woman that is the originating founder of the STEM school, which is one of the most successful technology schools in the state of Colorado. But because she was a religious person, the state deemed her a risk and said she could not have start a charter school because she was a religious individual. Let me tell you what's happening in Hamtramck, Michigan. This is unbelievable. Go and play it.
Debates raged on for at least 3 hours at Hamtramck City Hall over the new ordinance of sacrificing animals.
Really ridiculous, catastrophic resolution.
If it's not passed, then we are ready to take it to the court for the religious rights. It is constitution.
This was the second debate of the new ordinance, and there was a crowd outside of the City Hall chambers filling out cards to speak, and they were watching it on closed-circuit TV.
No, it's not safe or sane or humane because basements or kitchens or backyards are not suitable places for live animal slaughter.
Many people, including Muslim residents, were against it, citing sanitary concerns if the animals are sacrificed in a home and not in a sterile environment, especially in the tight-knit neighborhoods of Hamtramck.
Okay. Yeah, so it passed in 2023, 4-2. It permits residents to kill animals, have sheep in the backyard, and kill animals. If you wanted to do this, you could have done this over in Ooga Boogistan, right? You don't have to come here. And look, just because I have friends in the Middle East doesn't mean that I understand a bit about some of the ways that they actually name the cities. It's like, where are you from? From Ooga Booga Booga Booga. I'm like, oh, with 3 boogas or 2 boogas? I just want to know how many boogas we got to have. All right. I'm having a little bit of fun. And people are going to get mad at me for having fun. They're going to say, you're not allowed to laugh, just smiling, no having fun, Joe. All right, we have a guest. Casey Putsch is one of my favorite people. He's running for governor of Ohio, and he's been taking some shots. He's been taking some shots from people, and I stopped responding to it because I'm like, when I do, I'm like, listen, how are you gonna tell me what Casey said that's wrong? And they can't tell me what's wrong. He's like, well, he's not allowed to have an opinion. Okay, got it. Democrat. So we're going to talk to him about how it's going and what he's doing, and the fact that you have this other guy in the race that is a raging disaster. And I don't even know where to start. We'll just start with Casey. Casey, welcome to the show, brother.
Howdy, man. Good to be here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay.
Good,
how are you doing?
Good. I'm good. Actually, I think I'm in a better mood than last time I was on.
Yeah,
things just felt dark and bleak and difficult, and we were in it, but I just wasn't as positive as I am right now. We have more traction. It's genuinely building every day. I'm at a point where I kind of like this boxing match. And so we just got to keep going. That's really all there is to it. And frankly, I think that's what you were saying. I was just feeling darker the other time, being the reality of it all. But yeah, the campaign feels better.
I tried to give you some positiveness to it.
No, I didn't want to have any of that. I'm like, that's it. We're going to war.
Yeah. And it feels like we're going to war sometimes. I mean, even now, it feels like you're still going to war. It feels like we're still going through this thing where I don't even know what you call it.
We're in a fifth generational informational world war. We're all being psyoped. It's all a bullshit lie. And the boomers being addicted to Fox News is the biggest thing. And I'm not saying this is hyperbole. I feel bad for that generation. They've been literally psyoped and conditioned the entirety of their lives. And now they're stuck believing that Fox News is actual real news and getting propaganda for it. And it's a big problem for, frankly, American and conservatives right now.
So what's the biggest question that you get faced? So when people come out and talk to you, what is their concern?
With regard to what? The state or against my opponent or what I'm doing?
The state. Your opponent's a douche nozzle, frankly.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And he doesn't really have a platform other than talking about himself and saying that he's going to change the world and that he's going to do all this stuff that he doesn't even have the capabilities of doing. Because, frankly, I don't think he has capabilities of doing it. Paper tiger, that's what I call him.
Well, they're not even letting him talk anymore at all. Like $10 million ad campaign, they already started with the ads. That's bad. I mean, the fact of the matter is they're having to hire other people to speak on his behalf because every time Vivek opens his mouth, the people hate him more. And I would say the only real challenge that I have is simply exposure. Vivek has been out for a couple of years running in general, so there's a lot more name recognition. Let's be honest. So playing catch up, that is very challenging. That being said, all the people that are on the internet and getting it, and that isn't just X or even YouTube. That now is Facebook. The tide has shifted in my favor, of course, but will that be enough?
Yeah, I don't know. You guys have a primary system. You have a caucus system there in Ohio, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the primary voting is before May 5th.
Okay. So you have the primary vote before May 5th. Have you done any sort of polls or anything else related to that or no?
There has been some pollings I've seen in the past. The betting markets right now, frankly, are full because it's very clear to me. At a certain point, I started seeing when it's obvious to me they started putting money into it to make me go away because that was kind of a public looming thing. The polling that I've been told that's going on the inside has me within like 10 points of Vivek in the primary. And that's only getting better. So I don't really know beyond that because, to be perfectly honest, it costs a fair amount of money to poll. And I would rather just put all that money towards doing good, connecting with people, pushing the values that actually matter to Americans, rather than wasting money on a poll just to see where we are in the race. I'll tell you where we are. We're behind at all times, forever. Even if you're winning, you're behind. Keep moving forward. Keep doing better. It's like my dad, who is a golf instructor, always used to tell me as a kid, don't add up the score before you're done. Just play every shot and hole as well as you possibly can. Focus only on that hole and moment. And when you're done, do you add up the score?
Okay, so I'm gonna play this video because this
will be a fun one.
It's kind of my favorite video. When I saw it, I was gonna send you a text message, and then I was like, no, he's gonna.
Is it this video?
Yeah, and it's you considered ending your campaign after this was leaked. I mean,
Oh, it's true. Yeah, it's terrible.
You were
very serious.
I don't even know how you survived this.
Words can barely begin.
It's really bad. I mean, I'm just preparing everyone ahead of time that what you're about to watch is parental guidance is suggested.
I have not admitted this with my family since 1987. It's been a family secret for 40 years. 40 years.
All right, play it. It's 3 minutes, 48 minutes. We'll be right back.
Don't laugh. This is deadly serious.
so
No
sorry.
laughing. No, it's bad.
It's bad.
This week, there's something about my family's origin that's going to come out nationally, and it will probably end my campaign. Last week, there was a big controversy because this Thursday, we're having an event at the Patron Saints Brewing and Beer Hall in Toledo, Ohio. Now, the origin of my last name is German, Bavarian, Swiss. There's about 350 people in the world to this day with that last name. And in the German and English dictionary, it means a violent attempt to overthrow the government. A big one in 1839 happening in Zurich, but the most famous of which happened in 1923 in Munich at a beer hall by Adolf Hitler overthrowing, or trying to, the Weimar Republic. And our family's secret that no one has heard since probably about 1987. The reality that we've kept secret is that we are massive fans and admirers of Rick Astley. Hold on, that's not German enough. Let's do better. If that makes you mad and you think it's absurd, it's because it is absurd. And we all should be mad. Because the people that are trying to make me out to be some kind of historical monster, you are low IQ idiots. And the world is tired of this stupid psyop that the entirety of the West and anybody relating anything to Germany, let alone the poor Germans, have had to suffer for 80 years. And I'm sick of it. Because these are the people who invented the automobile, the first functioning jet engine, and got America to the moon. And they're great people. And the thing about this is, these dumb old hat psyops that have no bearing on modern times right now whatsoever cover up actual atrocities going on in the world, like wars for manipulative little nations committing actual genocides and using religion as a shield to do it, and then propagandize Christians. I'm sick of that crap, and I am only here to save Ohio and America. So here's what I'm going to do. For everybody else that's sick of this crap, this Thursday we are in fact having our event at the Patron Saints Brewing Company and Beer Hall. There's going to be live music, and we're going to have a great time. And just to show how over these stupid psyops I am, I'm going to drive my Porsche. How about that? And anybody else driving a cool German car, I will personally buy you a beer. Just because I want to have some fun. And yes, we're going to talk about all the policies and good things we can do to actually save Ohio from the revolting, sold-out GOP for Vivek, a globalist Trojan horse that's here to shove data centers straight up our ass, make us pay for it, and replace us with Indian H-1B foreign workers that companies can hire cheap to replace all of us. When Vivek said that Ohio has a population of 11 million, but he wants it to be 15 million by the time he's done, guess what? He's not helping anybody have any babies. Those are going to be Indians. So drive your German car on Thursday to the Patron Saints Brewery and Beer Hall, and I will personally buy you a beer. Do you think Ben Shapiro's eyebrows will get even bigger if he hears about this? Oh, and I'm not ashamed. I really love Rick Astley.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do
I couldn't help it when I saw it. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! This is awesome."
I'm most proud of blending Rick Astley Rickroll into the accordion of Never Gonna Give You Up with all like the video I had from doing traditional German stuff. And they all expected me to say Hitler or something, but I said Rick Astley. And by the time their brain registers, I just duped them. Then you Rickroll them. Beautiful. I was so happy with it. I was like, regardless of what happens, it was worth it just to Rickroll everybody.
Oh, I couldn't have any more fun with that one, because I know people are like, "Oh." You just gave an interview though, and you discuss who Vivek is in this interview. Yeah, I want to play this cut to play.
How do you believe that he is being weaponized by the globalists? What is the intention behind putting somebody like him in power?
Well, two things that seem really obvious. One relates to data centers, big topic in Ohio. Now, Vivek, when he's been running, before even Ohio, I heard him say he thinks the Ohio River Valley could be the next Silicon Valley.
I will make sure that if Silicon Valley led the way for the last 10 years, it is going to be the Ohio River Valley for the next 10 years.
And they create only a small amount of maintenance jobs? The one close to my house is a smaller project at $1 billion right about. It's a meta project, and I hear is only going to create about 100 maintenance jobs, about $85,000 a year. Now, if I did my math then right, it's about $8.5 million a year back in the economy before taxes. That's it. They create no product. That doesn't even remotely offset, I think, the environmental considerations or anything else.
Absolutely not.
So really, they're only set up as a leech, and in that regard, it seems incredibly clear to me with Vivek and who he is connected to. They're paying him to come in here and just smooze us and think it's okay to take advantage of us.
That's being a guy that knows data centers really well. First of all, there's ways to actually make it so you don't have wastewater contamination. But most of the projects that are done are sucking more power and water out and doing exactly what you just said, dropping that wastewater. They're not using any sort of glycolic systems or anything like that to do the cooling. And it's very dangerous, actually. It's ridiculously dangerous. So you talk about the 100 or so maintenance jobs and the turning it into Silicon Valley. Do you think maybe he's talking about the radical leftism that came out of Silicon Valley as well, that comes with that?
The only thing that comes out of this is full retardation. I don't know how to. It's not a left or right thing. This is just stupid, and we're being taken advantage of by globalist billionaire pieces of shit that have nobody's best interest in mind. We're not creating any product. We're not doing anything that's for pride of the state. We're not creating any valuable jobs. We're doing nothing. We are only being taken advantage of. And it goes so much deeper than that. It's only the superficial level. Anduril, it's here as well. Giant military contracting, building massive amounts of drones. The data centers are also usable for drone launch pads. So if we think anything other than Ohio is going to be the new laboratory for a surveillance state, we're kidding ourselves.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you at all. More importantly, I look at it as a stark warning of what we've seen happen to other parts of the country that have turned into leach fields. And we have two things going on at the same time. One, we have stolen elections. We have a lack of integrity in who gets put into positions of power and authority because they're propped up by these mega systems, which doesn't allow the people to ever have any voice, because you're literally just favoring the haves, and you're crapping all over the have-nots. You're crapping all over the people, right? Which really don't have the same consideration. And we bark down these. We stand on a pedestal. Let's say this guy Vivek. And he talks about, oh, I'm not ashamed. I'll do this, and we're going to bring data centers and make it Silicon Valley. And you do all this stuff, but you don't even look at. You're looking out at these people and you're saying, hey, vote for me. And the people are thinking that something good is going to come by this. That, oh, there's prosperity in Silicon Valley. No, there isn't. Have you been to Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I've been out that way.
Ooh. There's no prosperity. You got a massive number of homeless people living in RVs because they can't afford a home. It's the most unhomed place in the entire country. You got Punjab Bob that's pooping out in the field.
I got a great new nickname for my opponent.
Punjab Bob?
No, the dung beetle.
The dung beetle. Look, I'm going to get so much crap for having this because it's like, oh, Joe, you're attacking Vivek. Tell me what Vivek has done. Tell me.
He's attacking all of us just by being here and existing. Screw him. No, genuinely. Like, there's no two ways about that. The deeper I get, the more I learn, the more that I see, the more it looks like everything's just going to come to a certain point sooner than later.
Okay. Question for you.
Yes.
Pro-life?
Yes.
By the way, your wife is pregnant. Congratulations. I just saw that. You didn't tell me that before.
No, she's 7 months pregnant, and last week suddenly we found out that she no longer has a job.
Is that good?
No.
Oh. Well, I didn't know if you planned that or if it's
No, that was the thing. But yeah, she's 7 months pregnant. It is America's doing a very bad job at fostering young people having a future and being able to build a family in every way imaginable, to the point where it's very difficult to look at it and think, hey, it seems like everything that's been set up over the last 60 years plus is literally just to push down actual Americans in every facet of their lives.
Well, we were just talking about what they were doing with, having people vote in a mosque in Georgia, right? And it was at the library, but they took it away from the library for no apparent reason. I mean, it's a government building. It should be really easy. And now they're making them all vote in a mosque. And it feels like people are being pushed to war. Now, I don't care if you're Muslim or you're a banana head with webbed feet, could care less. But the
Zionists want us to go to war with the Muslims, and they're happy to facilitate more Muslims being here. That's the whole point.
But I guess my point is, what is the point? I mean, if you're
the
really
point is,
I've seen this play out before.
If you want to destroy Europe and the West, meaning America and Europe, what you need to do is you need to push a bunch of things in there to push them down and displace the population. But then ask yourself where it's coming from, and then ask yourself who's trying to antagonize people to hate each other in that way, and you'll probably figure out who's behind it.
Yeah, it's the problem the problem is always the solution. The solution is always the problem. And as I look at what Vivek is doing, and I look at the similarities between that and other states, and it's this cell of prosperity. It feels Obama-esque.
Oh, he's exactly Timu Obama. In fact, he says the exact same rhetoric.
Obama.
No, he is. Vivek is just Obama 2.0. He happens to be running on the Republican ticket. There's nothing conservative about him, and so he's not a African American black guy. He's just a frickin' Indian and a paperwork American. It's just the same grift, different day. There's nothing that will come good of anything for any Ohioans or any Americans by Vivek still being around. The best thing that can happen is we all forget his name ever exists and he pisses off to some other country.
So that you don't have an opinion on this matter, I can see at all. It's like,
that was my nice one.
That was your nice opinion. So let's go through your platform. Number one,
yes, sir.
You're pro-life.
That's right.
Right. When I talk about pro-life, it's hard not to have the conversation about the 300 Democrats I sat in a room with, and I asked the women that were there, which is about 2/3, just like on the Republican side, 2/3 are always women, right? And so you got about 200 women. And I said, how many of you have had an abortion? And 100 hands went in the air. And then I said, okay, how many of you would still have an abortion if you had free health care and free child care? And only 10 hands went up. So that made me look at pro-life from a different perspective, that they're not given options, they're given this scare tactic that if you have this child, but we walk over Americans, black, brown, white, doesn't matter, and we hand entitlements, free health care, free child care. We're seeing it come out of Minnesota. We see it happen in Colorado. We see it happening in Ohio. We walk over Americans and we hand it to people who are foreigners, illegals. They get free health care, free child care, can have their babies. But ours are told, you have to abort your babies, and here's the Planned Parenthood. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And that's what I said earlier about Americans are being destroyed in every facet of their life. So if you destroy it, you give all the money that could have gone for things like health care and child care, and you put that toward illegal aliens and other absurd things like that as a giant grift. Then guess what? People are going to have more abortions. And that's just another thing that's going to keep actual Americans, regardless of your color, down forever. And then it's like, oh, let's pump crap like OnlyFans and make every 20-something-year-old girl an e-whore to make a small amount of money. Like, the list just goes going on and on and on. We are destroying every facet of American life. And I don't know when, but at some point, Americans are going to have to stand up and literally fight back. And I think we're at a point where I'm going to get to a point where, you know what, I'm just not going to comply. Just don't comply. We're not going in with this. And the fact of the matter is, the only reason government has any power over any people is because we allow them to. And it's time people remember that.
Well, what's the alternative, Casey? I mean, what? And people say it to me all the time, Joe. Great, you're a fighter. We just need another 10 million of you. I said, no. We just need you.
You don't have to fight. You just don't have to go along with stuff. If everybody does it at the same time and then protects the people that the government tries to go after, what are they going to do?
Well, that gets me to, again, I look at it from the perspective of what people can do if people feel hopeless. And you got on here and you were pretty pissed off before, and I was like, everything's good, bro. And you're like, no,
I feel it's your podcast that does it. I'm like, let's just go. We have different energy on your podcast.
Yeah, well, and for good reason, because we're both patriots and we both really care about the people that don't necessarily think about or would care about us. I would say pro-life. How do we bring jobs back to Ohio? Let's give the case for Ohio.
Well, Ohio's got the places. We got Toledo, Dayton, Cleveland, et cetera. But there's roadblocks in the way. Our leadership doesn't understand worthwhile incentive structure that isn't just giving the baby out with the bathwater. Unions do create an issue with people wanting to come here and invest, and right to repair is a big thing there. So the fact of the matter is, it's literally as simple as this. As a state, you have to assess where the investments in actual factories that create a worthwhile, tangible product and worthwhile jobs. What states are they going to? Why do they go there instead of here? Okay, guess what? Those are the things you have to change and make it competitive. Period. It's literally as simple as that.
Do you think that at some point that if you got the regulations out of the way and you started allowing people to operate their businesses, that you could see a resurgence in the small business or medium business sector?
Yeah, of course. Because what I'm speaking of is medium to larger business in terms of removing the roadblocks, but also you can facilitate things happening on a smaller level with individuals, with startup companies. We have buildings and such that can be allocated for less money to people doing startups if you have a basic pro forma. We have the ability to facilitate people to have some sort of, legal advice or counsel to be able to connect with, not to where the government's just there to rob everybody blind, but actually set up in a way to help facilitate people with the clear taxiway and runway to create their innovations, to create their inventions. We have nothing of the sort. We have no new jobs coming in. And the only thing our state is doing is just selling out our own land and people and resources for BS like data centers, which are only set up as a net leech. We're doing precisely the opposite of working to make the state more prosperous. We are only at a time where leadership is selling us out in every way, shape, and form, and doing everything they can to keep all Americans downtrodden in every facet of life.
Casey, how has the Republican Party dealt with you being the sandpaper of what's happening with Vivek? Have they taken sides? Have they chosen sides?
I want to be a nice, coarse 60 grit. Yeah, of course. The GOP in Ohio is 100% sold out from the county and above. There's still a few county parties that are pretty cool and have waited to endorse, and then they'll just endorse whoever wins. So, they're kind of complacent. But I absolutely gave up on going after any endorsements or doing any of this because it's a game that cannot be won. It is structured and runs like a mafia, period. The higher level counties, the state, they'll just call counties. This is what I'm told, that counties keep being told and are forbidden from letting Casey Putsch speak. Okay?
Sounds familiar. They did it in Colorado, too.
Yeah, exactly. First, I think you mentioned that. The first big talk I did at, I think, Delaware County, it's fascinating because I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was told that it was at a headquarters at, say, 7:30. And then somebody else told me where it was, and I go, oh, okay, well, then I'll go there. And when I got there at 7:30. I was already a half hour late. I'm like, that's kind of weird. And so I get up and I find my person and I go to talk, and I gave her my cell phone to record because none of my team is there. None of the people collecting signatures there, no one at all. And I didn't think that much of it at the time, but then afterward, I'm like, where the hell is my campaign? And then I find out later they all showed up at the other location, which was over a half-hour drive away from the real location, a half-hour late also, which means if we all showed up where we were told by the county to go, we would be over a half-hour away and already over a half-hour late. That even if we found out when we got there the real location, we would end up being over an hour late and missing the opportunity to speak. Do you really think that was done on accident? And the list goes on.
No, but this is what you're describing is the games that are played by people who pick a jersey, pick a candidate, their person, their little buddy, and not what's best for the people. They don't let the people decide. They create this noise, and frankly, the American people are so tired of it. They're tired of it. I mean, what you just described is.
Well, and that list goes on. It's long and distinguished, which reminds me of that classic line from Top Gun. The list is long and distinguished. Never mind. The thing of it is, it's wrong across the board. And from the people that are making bad money off of it, I can almost respect that. Like, you are a crappy human being and basically a criminal, but at least you're gaining. The thing that I like just can't even fathom. I actually think you are less than a criminal if you're just doing it out of disgusting groupthink and you want to be part of a little club. Because if you're one of those disgusting sellouts that don't want an actual American that cares about you, that you can relate to, that's even having the opportunity to speak, and you're not even on the take, my God. What kind of low life are you that you have to suck up to people who already hate you just to feel like you belong to something? My God, seek help.
Yeah, this is where it just gets.
But it is beatable. It is beatable. And the thing of it is, the nature of social media helps a lot. But that being said, I'm being throttled on social media. So, Elon is obviously connected with Vivek, and I'm told there's a whole lot of H-1B Indian workers at X, and I'm getting throttled. And there are Indian-based attack gangs that get people canceled off X.
They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that for political campaigns. It's illegal.
They're going to do it anyway. What are you going to stop them? What am I going to stop them? That's what they do.
But I've been censored to it's to a crazy degree. And it's okay.
Yeah.
I've just gotten used to it at this point. People will find me.
It's kind of amazing I'm still going at all right now with social media. I've thought about that a bit, and I don't know. It's really it's really fascinating, all this. The other thing is, the longer I'm in, the more I look around and go, oh my God. Like, I am a very small list of people who are not controlled opposition. And the more you're in, the more like, who out here is actually real? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding. Gatorbait just said, Joe, I just texted my brother-in-law in Ohio, Casey's name and pick, told him to make sure his family votes for him in the primary. So you got people that are doing work for you.
Yeah, I'm honored.
Gammy says Vivek is a poser, a plant. Of course she did.
Yeah, he's
and just because I get probably 30 or 40 of these comments at least a week. Bug Thug says your channel disappeared in my feed again when you went live. Had to search you out to find your channel. This is crazy.
Yeah, that happens.
Over and over and over again. That's on Rumble because Rumble's so good. And I'm a big shareholder. I'm trying to figure out from my lawyer what I can do about being a big shareholder and them doing the things they're doing to me.
On Rumble?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. I hadn't thought of that. Now, just as a note, I do not have a channel on Rumble.
You do not?
No. I've been on some shows on there, like Amy Dangerfield and whatnot, but I personally have my channel on YouTube, and I personally have my account on X.
I can get nothing on YouTube. Imagine being able to get 3 or 4 people to watch you on YouTube, and that would be my YouTube channel. I'll have 15,000 people on Spotify, 20,000 people on Apple, all this stuff and 3 people on YouTube. 4 people on YouTube right now, actually. Yeah. Can you show me how to fix that?
Yeah, we can talk about it. I think I saw one or two. What's that? No, I think I actually have an idea. We'll chat later.
All right. Yeah, I get somewhere between 100 and 500 views on when it's all said and done with on YouTube. It's not good.
Okay.
But they hate me over there. All right. Well, what else? What else is your campaign built on? Because I want people to understand that.
The campaign's based on specifically doing what's in the best interest of Ohioans. You know, it's going to be hard if we don't have jobs, okay? So I mentioned that. We have to be able to push back the data centers in a way that's not going to be a net leach. It's got to be a net gain. That includes power. They need to be rising the tide in terms of building energy production so that we're not subsidizing the cost of it. They need to be paying some money in taxes, not zero money in taxes. And we need to make sure it's not having an ecological impact that's negative. They also need to be the heck away from where people live and where people farm. And the scariest thing is that that's probably where they're taking advantage of the most water and us. But we have to be able to bring in real jobs and real investment to industry. And the reason we can't do that is because there's roadblocks in the way. And big money always passes up Ohio for other states that make more sense. So Ohio has to be competitive with that. That is a simple prospect to look at it, and it might require making some people mad that want to have their stupid little power, but they're hurting the state. So we're going to remove those roadblocks. And then obviously helping innovation on the low end. That's going to frankly help bringing in jobs, having manufacturing, building something real, not just numbers on a computer screen that do nothing but use electricity and heat things up, literally. So that is that right there. The other thing is we have to care about our heritage and protect it, whether that's a historic courthouse, a racetrack that matters to people. It could be a historic Native American site. It could be a century-plus-old farm. It could be multi-generational owned restaurants that are jewels of culture. These things need some help. They need protection because if we lose our heritage and our culture, who are we? So we have to care about in that regard. Obviously, I am very pro-gun. I am 100% staunchly pro First and Second Amendment. Period. That's important to me. Obviously, pro-life. Let me put it this way. I said this and I'll put it out. I'm going to deputize a task force specifically of ex-special forces guys with their only job is to target, track, and hunt human and child trafficking. Period.
Whoa, hold on a second. That's huge.
Yeah, well, it's that easy, Washington, D.C. And the reason it's not happening is because they want it. I don't.
A lot of your leaders will disappear very quickly.
Good. I laugh. It's not funny. Like I'm dead serious.
No,
Ohio will become
that there's a lot of really bad people.
Yeah, well, Ohio will become the most dangerous place on planet Earth for them. Death penalty for human trafficking, death penalty especially for child trafficking, child rapists. I don't care if you're an illegal immigrant or a billionaire with tunnels in your land. We are going to wipe you off the face of the earth in Ohio.
So, Casey, you say that. I've said things like, I want people to get hung for treason. The American people are starting to wake up to this idea because they'll use this and say that you're pushing or promoting violent rhetoric. And they forget about the victims. They forget that this is not a victimless crime. The children have to live the rest of their lives knowing the harm that's been put upon them. So what would you say to people that say that this is pretty violent?
I don't have time for you to be a mealy-mouthed pussy. We're going to end these people so we can have a society, and you can thank me later.
Okay, so let's hypothetically say they come in. Do they have the same trial through the same judiciary? Because your judiciary and
and we're not going to have these radicalized judges that let everybody out. We're going to expedite this. It's going to be fair, but it's going to be expedited, and we're going to make it happen. Period. I'm not letting things destroy society anymore, because if we keep doing this and other things that keep destroying society, that means America will end up in only one position. And I don't want to get there yet.
Well, Casey, there's only one group of people in the entire country that operate with impunity. Only one. They basically check themselves. That is, lawyers in this country operate in and judges. The entire legal profession is the only one that has its own loop. The Judicial Commission in every state.
We're gonna
is
end
actually
that.
Run by.
Come in. Talk for 1 second. Sorry.
All right. So one of the things, Casey doesn't ever pull punches, and it's hard to.
I don't have time to pull punches.
Yeah, no.
I don't have time to pull punches anymore. Keep going. None of us do. We don't have time for this. We're not getting any younger. We're not getting any wealthier. They're only messing us up.
I agree with you fully, but the reality of it is that there's an impediment to the American dream, and it's not even the president of the United States. It's not even Congress. It's the judges.
I know that is a horrific problem. Attacking these judges that let everybody out, that ends. One of the way all these things are going to end is if you're part of the government, whether you're an elected official, you're paid, you're part of the legal system, it's going to be full transparency because if YouTubers and social media people are doing, yes, I know you want to listen to, here you go. If all the social media people are the ones doing the best job at finding all of the fraud, whether that's through illegal immigration, these are radicalized judges letting everybody out, then good, let them find the fraud. And we're going to create a way for the public to be able to report on this and show it. Because then, and only then, when the entire public gets mad and these people are accountable, can we do something about it? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that the public, when they see it, they have the ability to stay on top of actually prosecuting and ending the careers and or putting these people in prison. Period. The public will have that power. And yes, I realize that also relates to me as a government official, because if all government and legal officials can't hold up to that scrutiny, they need to be gone yesterday.
No, I totally agree with you. But you say that talk about the judiciary, we're going to end that. That takes a huge amount of people to recognize where the problem comes from. And everywhere that I've actually had a conversation about either be election fraud or corruption or even doing things like investigations, they all come down to a judiciary that is rotted and doing some really bad things in our communities, and they're above reproach. You can't sue a judge, you can't hold a judge accountable, and frankly, it takes forever to get somebody that's corrupt out of their positions of trust and authority. It shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that, in my opinion.
We're going to do something about it. Because I'm not going to go through my whole lifetime and not see change. So we can either do it the way the founding fathers intended, or we can do it the way the founding fathers also intended.
Well, I mean, they gave us an out. I was talking to someone and said, Joe, what are you going to do if they just strip us of a few rights? And I was like, I'm just going to walk down there and evict them. I'm going to grab 50 of my buddies or 100 of my buddies. We're going to go down there. We're going to throw all the furniture out. Tell them get out. Just get out.
Yeah, even in France, old white flag giving up France, they'll at least take tractors and stuff and spray manure on all the government buildings in on them. Gosh, we don't even have the guts to do that.
Yeah. Well, and you see what's happening in Ireland as well. I mean, these guys have set up, they wrote down, they told guys, get out. They had these illegals that were in villages, and they said, get out or we'll burn it down.
Ah, fair. Yeah.
And so it's creating a cleanse. Huh?
Let me help you. I have a guest here today. The little one here. You've been having more fun with my lieutenant governor pick, Kim Georgeton. Obviously, my wife Taylor, who's pregnant, and one of my campaign people is a very nice woman, and so she got to see she got to see all girls yesterday. And so when Dad comes home, she's like, "No, I'm hanging out with women today. Can I get any love?"
Then you got to spend more time at home, which
well, that's a challenge.
Governor's mansion, you can do that then. Well, how do people follow you? How do people connect with you? How do people?
Of course, you can go to putschforohio.com. That's spelled Putsch. You can, of course, find me as Casey the Car Guy on YouTube. And, of course, we have the Putsch for Ohio or Casey Putsch for Ohio Campaign X accounts. You'll find us on Facebook, of course, on Instagram. Just across the board, you'll be able to find me. And remember, every social media platform is its own unique blend of horror show and personality. So hate the game, not the player. But you're going to be able to find everything out.
Bro, thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure. And remember,
I'm honored.
told
I
you
always like
was
to
gonna
get
come
feisty
out
with you.
Hey, look, we know where it's headed. We just hope it doesn't get there. For our children's sake, we hope that we can do so in a very calm way. But evil will never go back in its hole without a little bit of force.
Well, and I think it's fair to say if you've got any politician at a higher level who isn't talking like me, they're already on the take and bought out.
I would agree with that. There's a lot of them. All
Yeah.
right. Bye.
Thank you for having
Bye,
me
sweetie.
on. Say bye-bye, Pops.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
See you, brother. Take care. He always brings the fire and talks about the truth, and that's what scares them. And in large part, that's kind of what scares everyone in Colorado. There's a campaign that's kind of brewing, and you have these conspiracy theorists. I call them conspiracy theorists because they're actually that. Victor Marx and Jeff Hunt and this group of people in Colorado, Mean Girls Club. And they said that I planned this all along. I planned to get out of the governor's race and to run for GOP chair. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later. But here's what I want to tell you. I've enjoyed being on the podcast. I've enjoyed being here with you. I've enjoyed walking through some of the nonsense, getting people like Casey on who are absolute patriots. People that care more about others than they care about their own well-being. Because frankly, he wouldn't get involved in this if he didn't have children, and he didn't care about making the place. He can look outside his window and he can tell that things are not going well for the people of Ohio. I did the same thing when I was in 2020. Same thing. I looked outside and I was like, everything in my life is going so well. Let's just screw it all up. I get in the middle of helping people when, frankly, I'm not sure that if I went back in time, it would have been my choice. And I look at the things that I've done over the last 6 years and the flights that I've taken and the millions of dollars I've spent, and I feel like I've made a difference. I feel like we're getting to the bottom of things, but we're running out of time. And then I look at what's happening with the Trump campaign, and man, I'm tired. I'm tired. I kind of want to get to let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get to it. Why? I'm tired of them calling white people bad. I'm tired of them saying that black people need reparations. I'm tired of the same people that are out there standing in the way of progress, then saying that they have the answers to all the stuff that's happening, only to have them get in those positions of trust and authority and do nothing with it because they don't have the capabilities, they don't have the talent. And so they let people just walk all over them, they make excuses. And I'm talking about all the way, just imagine this. How much confidence do you have in Congress right now? And you got people saying that these are good people, that John Thune's a good person. He's not, he's a traitor. And Mike Johnson, traitor. Every time I turn around, he's like, oh, Mike Johnson might go down in history as the best Speaker of the House. Nothing has happened in 2 years. Nothing has happened. We had President Trump in the first term. He ripped the Band-Aids off. You get to 2020, they create this pandemic. Then they feed people this poison. Then it kills millions of Americans, all while stripping away your rights. And those rights never came back. And then Biden gets in the office and does full-fledged ahead 500% in the wrong direction, undoing everything that President Trump did. Everything that President Trump did in the first term, they undid with Biden. And now you get into Trump's second term, and he's only undone 15% of it. And the pressure on the American people is completely unacceptable. It's unacceptable. The tax burden, the bill structure, everything that we touch, they've literally sucked the life out of our communities. And it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, you're standing up and going, this is why I wanted to run for governor. You're standing up going, hey, listen, you over here that are talking about whiteness, just shut the hell up. And then you go over here, you talking about cats, and you could be a cat, shut the hell up. And you over here saying a man could be a woman, shut the hell up. You have the entire country on both sides of the aisle and everything in the middle saying, just shut the hell up. It's the amount of I'm tired And the amount of pressure that is put on people in America is untenable. And now we're over there blowing people up. There's no enjoyment. There's no enjoyment for the American people. It's like we're living in communist Russia. And then they say that capitalism is bad. The U.S. hasn't been a capitalist environment for decades, since they started stealing elections and telling you have a voice. That's a fallacy too. And then you got this. See you next Tuesday. Who tells us that white people have no culture and that we should stop watching sports with black athletes and should stop visiting Mexican restaurants. Go play it.
Quit watching NBA basketball. Quit watching sports that are dominated by African Americans. Quit going to Mexican restaurants. You want white culture? You go fucking live in it. You live in it, bathe in it. Like, that's the only thing that I see when you get all white people together in the United States. There's no culture at all. So they have to go borrow culture from people. Even the word woke, they've borrowed from black culture. I went to a Mexican restaurant with my parents, my son, my husband over the weekend. And there's just all these MAGA looking people in there. And I thought, you've got a lot of fucking nerve coming in here. Coming into this Mexican restaurant where every single waiter, obviously English was their second language, served with a smile. They run a great little local business. And Oklahoma City is a better place because of these hard-working immigrants that come in here. But I cannot imagine the horror they feel when they are driving to and from work, when they might have a hearing on their legal status. I can't imagine the people who've already been taken from their lives. Right. And to see these fat ass, pink arm, teeny weeny, beta pricks with their ugly ass wives walk into this Mexican restaurant and sit down and smile and be friendly. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, but do not participate in any of the shit that makes America cool. And what makes America cool is multiculturalism. And if you want to triple Trump, and you want to browbeat DEI, and you want to browbeat gay people, and you want to browbeat black people, as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, you want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit, when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit, Cankle's McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I have fucking had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your fucking smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that shit. No one.
Synagogue of Satan. There you go. There's your synagogue of Satan. This cunt bitch. And you think anybody cares who she is? You're an interior designer, you stupid cunt. That's what you are. And you don't know anything about black culture. You're sitting here parading around in your white suit while saying that white people are bad. And I grew up in an interracial environment. Synagogue of Satan. She wants to tell me that we got to leave criminals here and put them all in the same bucket and say, you just eat it. She doesn't have to eat it. And that there's no culture? Golf, bitch. Golf. Yeah, I'll start there. I'd golf every day. I would golf every day. And basketball? Man, I can play basketball better than most. I can still do 100 push-ups like I'm standing still every morning. But you want to come over here with your ugly wives. My wife's beautiful. I don't know who you're talking to. And you look like a snaggletooth little pig, kind of like Griswold. And someone would say, Joe, I can't believe you're going at her. She just came after me. She came after the culture. And she's not coming after, by the way, white people. Just say it out loud. You're coming after Christians. You're coming after Christians because you don't think you're white. Synagogue of Satan woman. You don't think you're white. You put yourself in a whole different deal and said, white people, you shouldn't be able to go watch basketball. She never played a sport in her life. She's just a smug little pig. Basketball is invented by a white man. It just doesn't even make sense. See, my generation, we thought we got rid of racism. We did. There's no place I won't go. I mean, we didn't even, race wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even a thing. Somebody called you a racist, man, we were going to blows. We were fighting. And frankly, I love to fight. I was at this thing called a Weiss Market. Anybody from Maryland knows where Weiss Market is? I'm across the parking lot, and at the time, I was coming out with a TV dinner and a gallon of milk. And this kid goes, Joe! And I was like, what's up? And he goes, not you, stupid white boy. Man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what happened real quick. Right? I wiped the concrete with him. Now you can say what you want. This was before Jesus. People wonder why I fight now. I fight because I don't like crappy people. This woman's crappy. She's trying to divide us. You got somebody that says, hey, look, I got a great idea. Let's move our voting place in Georgia from a library to a mosque. Because they wanted to create discomfort and they wanted to hurt people in their community. They wanted to be able to say, now you won't go vote. Instead of putting it in the government building, they're like, yeah, go over here. And it has nothing to do with it. You don't see a lot of polling places in churches. They're usually in schools, libraries, but no, we're going to do this because we want to, in Georgia, we want to create controversy out of nowhere so we can create division, so we can say, see, we told you so, there's Islamophobia. No, they don't want to go into a mosque for anything. Now, I've been in mosques. I've done dua, done prayer. Got plenty of Muslim friends. I got Jewish family and Jewish friends. And they'll all tell you that this woman is trash. White culture. You don't have culture. What the, I just want these people to go do something for me. How about you just read a book? For once in your miserable life, go read a book. Because the only dog that's out there are the ones that literally, I promise you she doesn't believe in God. I promise you she doesn't. But people that believe in God don't act that way. But she wants to speak for me. She wants to speak for black people. Man, let me tell you something. This is what happens when you have trash people that want to act like they're virtue signaling when frankly, they literally would piss on you just as soon look at you. They're the ones that think that there's the superiority for them to be able to bark all this while they betray the same people. They talk one thing and they deliver something completely different. That's the mantra of the Democrat Party, and it's the mantra of the synagogue of Satan. People like Griswold and Polis and Weiser in the state of Colorado who have done massive, massive wrong to this state, who have created an environment where people are held hostage in their own state. Palantir left for a reason. Palantir left for a reason. They were only here for 6 years, and they're like, we got to get the hell out of here. Right now, 4 of my clients, some of the biggest companies in Colorado are trying to find an exit strategy and where they're going next. They have an entire committees. I'm talking about $1 billion plus companies that are trying to find a way to get the hell out of Colorado and take with them the equivalent of probably 70,000 jobs. The state of Colorado is being run into the ground by demons who think that you're trash. And they can talk up here all they want and go to baseball games with Lauren Boebert and rub shoulders while watching people in our communities in Colorado and around the country burn. So I just got one thing to say to you, Miss Synagogue of Satan. Piss off. You're a zero. You're an interior designer and a bad one at that. You never wear white in the winter. All right. Let's go to, let's meet Susanna Karatosis. She's running for Georgia State House. And this is, by the way, American. You want to see what's happening? You want to see why the blood is boiling in America right now? Play this.
When this is all over and Trump is gone and Democrats are back in charge and we're rebuilding everything, the punishment for MAGA for voting Trump 3 times needs to be that they lose their internet access for 4 years, that they cannot post videos or comments on social media for 4 straight years, so that none of us are subjected to their lies and misinformation while we are rebuilding the chaos that they caused. The whole world and America gets to be without their BS online for 4 straight years. Can we all agree to this?
She's drunk. She's drunk. This is what we get with, I've been for the 4 years. She's drunk. That's what you get. Maybe with the Democrat Party. You got people that want to rule over you because you're a slave. So for 4 years, you can't have internet. We don't have to listen to their lies. You tell me what lie I've said. Our elections are stolen. When President Trump is gone, we're going to war. Just so we're clear. You want to know what I think is going to happen? I think there are enough people out there that are standing together that we've had enough. We don't want to live in a world like this. And I'm telling you, they're going to start standing. You're going to see hundreds and thousands of men that come together, and they're not going into a neighborhood to go to a mosque. They know who the enemy is. We're tired. We are tired. Now put me in the group of people that are tired. We're tired. And I pray every day that it never gets to a place of violence. But can you imagine? The first woman says that we should basically be, if you're white, you should be ostracized and relegated to 0. You're having the most racist, anti-white hate you could possibly have out there. And most people in the community are like, you're a fool. And then you got this piece of trash. You got this piece of trash that says somewhere along the line of, you lose your internet for 4 years, slave. You don't think people are ready to, man, let me tell you something. People are pissed. And more importantly, let's talk about what the attacks are against. It's against Christians. It's against Christians. This is a fight against Christians. Yeah, so the Zionist people that are out there saying, oh yeah, I agree with all this stuff, they are literally the minions that are sitting in the machine and looking up like the oracle and saying, Ted Cruz. Retards. Massive retards. And what are we getting out of it? Our entire community is literally run into the ground. Entire community. Black people suffer, brown people suffer. Jews, God-fearing Jews suffer. The amount of protests that are happening in Israel right now are off the charts. Tell me how many you've seen online. You're not allowed. And if they find you, they will throw you in jail. This is absolutely true. And I want you to see this cut. And if you think that it's black babies that are being born, it's not. And to my black brothers and sisters, my literal black brothers and sisters, man, I've had conversations with my little brother, and he's like, Joe, where are these people from? These people are Martians. They're not talking about that U.S. babies are being born to other people than white. Here, watch this.
Major demographic shift is underway in our country. A new study from the Zucker School of Medicine finds that for the first time, minority births now make up the majority nationwide. Researchers analyzed more than 33 million births over the past 8 years. Eyewitness News anchor Sandra Bookman has a story.
White births in the U.S. have fallen below 50% for the first time ever. That's among the findings in a new study published today by professors from the Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell. One of those researchers, Dr. Amos Grunebaum, calls it a historic milestone.
Minority women were now the majority. The majority of births in the United States for the first time.
The study analyzed CDC data on 33 million births in the U.S., tracking trends by the mother's race and ethnicity. It revealed white births at 49.6%, while other groups taken together, including Hispanic, Black, and Asian, made up 50.4% of all births. The analysis also offered an explanation for the shifting demographics.
Among Hispanic women, they have children usually at an earlier age, and they have more children than white women have. White women usually delay childbirth. It's a known fact, and they have less children.
Coupled with well-documented disparities when it comes to maternal health for minority women and children, Dr. Grunebaum says these findings aren't just statistics. He says current efforts to restrict immigration and cut Medicaid hurt the very women keeping American births alive and growing the country.
If you really want to increase birth, if you want to have more babies, as this government has repeatedly said they want to, then we need to address these issues.
Sandra Bookman, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Okay, so here's what I need to tell you that I thought was interesting. This was based out of the Zucker School of Medicine. You ready for this? That is actually not true. But they've changed the rules and moved the goalposts because they've removed white Jews from white. Just thought I'd let you know that. True story. So if you're white, there's a new color out there. It's called Jew color. It's not real. The funny part about this deal is that my family, the Jewish part of my family, thinks this is absurd. I talk to my Jewish friends, they think it's absurd. And I'm wondering, how in the world are they convincing? And then I'm like, they're not. Because even my rabbi friends say the same thing, Joe. And I'm like, Rabbi? Rabbi Robbie. He's like, yes. And I'm like, are you white? He goes, Joe, don't ask me such a question. And I was like, Robbie, I need to know if you're white, bro. You got to tell me if you're white. And he's a liberal. He's a liberal. He's liberal, and he's my friend, and I love him. And he'll tell you? What do you think he'll tell you? He says, yep, I'm white. And I was like, Robbie, are you a man? And he's like, yes, I'm a man. And we have these weird conversations with me and him because we've built all of these walls. Not allowed to be funny anymore. Not allowed to poke fun at people as anti-Semitic. I get attacked by all of these people in Colorado that are just soft. They're soft, they're weak, they're pathetic. And they attack me with dog whistles, same dog whistles, right? Joe called, hey, I want to hang people. Yeah, I want to hang. I want people to get tried for treason when they're found guilty of treason. I want them to be hung. Absolutely, 100%. That's the penalty. You don't like it, change the rules. I guess they could get a firing squad too, so you can cave them in if you want. But I think we should make it, that stuff. Whew. But the reality of it is that we have to call it what it is. This is not a white problem. This is not a black problem. This is not a Asian problem. I don't know how Asians made it out of the story. How did they write themselves out of it? How in the world did Asians escape all this? Man, I'm telling you, I need to call my friend. I'm going to call Chin, who's my friend's wife. She's Chinese, but I mean, obviously, she's Americanized. I ask her questions all the time about people in China. She goes, they love President Trump. And I'm like, everyone loves President Trump. The people love President Trump. You know who doesn't like President Trump? Is the weak pieces of trash, the devils out there that don't want to restore the power back to the people. Give the people the ability to have a little meat off the bone. Now, I want you to see this. This is what's happening in Virginia. This Spanberger. Now remember, Spanberger in Virginia is a CIA agent. So the best they could find in Virginia to run for office as the governor of Virginia was, on the Democrat side, was a CIA stooge. I'm not kidding you. Here's a clip of her approval in Virginia. Play it.
She rescinded the prior directive that ICE would not would not be able to work with our local law enforcement. Anyway, people are not happy with the job she's doing. Her approval rating now after a few months is 47%, or disapproval is 46, approval is 47, which is not normal after 3 months in that area.
Well, because Governor Youngkin left with a 54% approval rating, but he was term limited. He can only have one term. And so there's really no comparison.
That was for the same period, not even when he left.
Exactly. So it's like, when you lie to the voters and you say that you're going to be a moderate and you go in there, they're going to be a little upset about this. She's also wants a corporate tax rate. She didn't talk about that on the campaign trail. She's back on this climate nonsense as well. And Mikey Sherrill as well. Doesn't want to work for ICE, climate change, tax the rich as well. And as a result, those businesses are now moving out of Virginia.
Businesses are moving out of Virginia. You see what you just heard? Businesses moving out of Virginia. Another synagogue of Satan. And look, you can say what you want, but we have to start separating. I'm going to tell you right now, if we don't start separating these demons from the actual people, you are going to see the same thing that happened when we have this lump it all together. Everyone thinks that a black person is a gangster because that's all they saw on TV. And the reality of it is, most black people are awesome. I was going to crack a joke, and then I was like, I better not crack a joke because it's going to be clipped out by Kyle Clark. Oh, it does make me laugh at the fact that people don't have understanding of culture. 6.5 years spent in the Middle East and Africa. I learned the language, loved the food. People were amazing. I have the best conversations with some of the Uber drivers that are from the Middle East region. And because I've been there, I can describe things and talk to them about things, which, when my wife is in the car, she's like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. And we're having conversations about a place that, frankly, only a person that had been there would know about. But it's, yeah. So now I want to play this. You know what Trump derangement syndrome is? It's this idea that they can't stop talking about Trump. And I saw the first case of Joe Oltmann derangement syndrome at the Mike Lindell trial. And actually, Coomer's attorneys, who have done a horrible job, by the way. I mean, they had to move their Satanist henchmen for Dominion voting system to move him out of the country. He just moved out of the country. And one of the scariest things about Coomer is that when I was at his deposition and he's sitting there lying like a rug, which we've called him dead to rights. I mean, he's He's in big trouble. If there is a free world out there, he is in really big trouble. But he said, as he was walking into the room, he said these words. He's like, "Oh, it'll be a good chapter in the book." And I'm thinking to myself, this guy thinks that the evil is going to win. And I'm thinking to myself, not in my lifetime. It's not. Absolutely not. But there's this guy, Jeff Hunt, in Colorado. And Jeff Hunt I don't even know what he is. He's a radio personality. I don't know. I thought he was decent at first, but he's been doing this thing where he attacks me and he stands up for Victor Marx. And I haven't been in the governor's race, and so I had to explain things to him through him trying to slander me yet again. And it's slandering me because, that I haven't reached in to touch the apparatus of Colorado. But I stepped out of the governor's race to run for state chair because I can fix it. And so I want to play this. This is Jeff Hunt taking a shot at me for doing what I know I can do, which is fix the party. And let's go ahead and play it.
How do Republicans get past this infighting? Can you work with Joe Oltmann? Talk to me about that dynamic between you and what could be the chair of the Colorado Republican Party.
Yeah, well, I would encourage Joe to stop drinking the haterade. I mean, this infighting is actually done by a small group. I call them the kindergarten cabal, which he is part of. And I'll tell you, Joe, man, he got upset because I simply called him out and said, "Joe, you're lacking integrity. You're saying you're running for governor. You're doing all this smoke and mirrors, but you have no intention of going all the way through the process. And if you do go all the way through, try to get as many delegates as you can. I'll give you $1,000 to your favorite charity." Did he take me up on it? Heck no. He actually did a bunch of, he's good at profane word salad and cut downs. That really exposed his character. But what he actually did was stepped out of the race the next day because he was cornered. It was him and Scott Bottom working together. I didn't attack either one. I just simply told people what the truth was and go, look at what's happening. They're uniting, and sure enough, the moment he took a knee, he comes out and says, "I support Scott Bottoms." People are like, yeah, like we didn't see that coming. But him running for that position, not a chance. I've talked to too many state chairs, folks all over, and they're like, the last thing we need is someone like Joe Oltmann who has a horrible history.
I have a horrible history. So let me just approach this. So I had to put this up here. This is my response to Jeff. And we're going to clip this and put it out there for everybody to hear. But let's go ahead and put it up real quick. I said, "Stop, Jeff. You're being dishonest again. You want to carry water for Victor? Go ahead. But stop lying. I'm out of the race, and Victor and you cannot get my name out of your mouth. It's like Trump derangement syndrome, only it's Oltmann derangement syndrome. Let's look at timing since it's hard for you. I announced Victor lied and then called the counties and orgs to threaten he would not show up if they let me participate. He then lied and said I attacked his family. He then lied and said then Britta resigned. I got a call from Peg Cage telling me that party needs to be fixed and everyone agrees you can do it. I pray about it. I come to the conclusion that without a party, you have no support structure for candidates, and I can in fact fix it and do so very quickly. I meet with all three of the other major candidates at my office a week before I dropped out, that being Barb Kirkmeyer, Jason Mikesell, and Scott Bottoms. We met for about an hour and a half. At the end, I made up my mind that between the three of them, we had a good group of people, my preference being Scott for the nod. I then met with Scott, talked to Barb, met with donors, and made the decision to withdraw and lead the state party to greatness. But you could have gotten that from me in a call. Even Kyle Clark is at least courageous enough to ask the question. I know I scare you. Competence typically does that to those that seek relevance. Hope this clears it up for you. So let me address this, because I am the #1 punching bag for people in the state of Colorado who are weak and pathetic. People that don't have any courage and don't have any sort of conviction and or integrity. I never attacked Victor Marx. I didn't attack Jeff Hunt. Jeff Hunt was having a conversation with Peter Boyles over at 710 KNUS, and he said, oh, he'll probably talk about me. Peter came to me and said, hey, by the way, he thought that you were going to talk about Jeff Hunt. I go, I don't even know who Jeff Hunt is. So I don't know how I would talk about him. As we start seeing all of this play out, there's a contingent that has destroyed the party in Colorado. Those same people, and I'm talking destroyed it to a place where it's not even recognizable. The state of Colorado does not even have an office. It doesn't have phones. It has a bunch of boxes that sit in the basement of Britta Horn, who resigned as the chair about 3 weeks ago. She said she had a vote of no confidence, and she put in a resignation saying, I can't operate in this environment. So no one knew that she was going to drop out of the race. So how did I drop out of the governor's race and get into the chair's race if I had planned it all the way back in December? See, the lies just keep stacking up for these people. And no matter where you turn, he says that I'm really good at cut downs. I am. I'm smarter than probably 90% of those people, because all they have is dog whistles, innuendos, and lies. And it just never stops. Never stops. Now I'm forced into the position where I've got to sue people and do all that stuff. And somebody says, Joe, you're always suing people. You've been in lots of lawsuits. I actually haven't. I've lost one lawsuit in the last 30 years. One lawsuit. I've been to court a lot. I have gone and protected people. I have sued people numerous times. And you would say, why? And I was like, because I had to, because I've been in business. President Trump has been sued over 1,000 times. Is that indicative of his character, or does he do what is necessary to hold people accountable? And so they went and ran this entire record, and it included me going to court and getting a protection order for my niece. And my niece saw it when I put it out there, and she lost her mind. And this is a young lady that lives in Colorado Springs, been through a lot. And then her mom commented, and then her stepfather commented. And they all said the same thing about me. They've known me for 30 years. And look, I'm not the soft and cuddly guy. But what's happening in Colorado is that they don't want to fix the problem. There is no wanting to fix the problem. They want to destroy everything that is good about our communities. And they are deathly afraid that I will do what I know I can do, which is walk in, bring the parties together, unify people in the state of Colorado under the idea that we can have an American People's Party, something that represents the interests of the people of the state of Colorado. And why do I think I could do that? Because I've done it before. I've fixed much bigger problems than this before. And I've done some pretty crazy stuff in my life. Stuff that, frankly, I shouldn't even have had a seat at the table at places and things that I've done. I shouldn't have been included in the decision. I shouldn't have been the one to write that white paper or build that model or write or to develop this system for election protocol for this country. And I did all these things. Did I come home and I brag about it? No. My daughter knew, my son knew, my wife knew, my partners knew. And the Rolodex of people that I have on my phone knew. They knew that when they called me and I showed up, it didn't matter what it took from me, how much blood it took out of my body, what it could have done to me, the fact that it could have killed me, it didn't matter. They knew that I would get the job done or I'd die doing it. That's the reality. They hate the fact that I don't hate the Democrats. I don't like radical leftists. I don't like synagogue of Satan people. I don't like evil people that do bad things to good people. I don't actually care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't even care if you're gay, straight, a dinosaur. Could care less. What I care about is, can you be a good person? Can you actually look out for something other than yourself? Can you serve the greater good of the community, and can you do so with dignity? And Jeff Hunt can't. He can't do it. Victor Marks can't. And this whole thing that came out with Colby, to break up another man's marriage, and to do so while trying to destroy someone's business, and then the whole Holly thing and everything else. Just so you know, I don't care who Victor Marks is. I don't actually care. I've seen enough people that are Jimmy Swaggarts in my time, and I've seen enough pastors that went over to Africa and the Middle East that slept with young girls and did a bunch of bad things while saying they were there to help. I've seen it all. So I'm not surprised by the behavior at all. And frankly, he running for governor, God bless you. Make sure you pardon Tina Peters. But this kindergarten cabal deal, are you serious? I don't even care. Because the people will make a decision on whether or not you represent them. But there is an entire campaign out right now that's like, oh, Joe's got these donors. There's another thing, this guy running for office, running for the same office, writes, he said, I got a plan. Puts out the thing, my plan is bylaws, not my laws. And goes through an entire deal of slandering me while touting things that have no plan. No, his plan was, I'm going to take $10 a month from Republicans. They'll give to me. Nobody has an interest in the Republican Party because it's dead. And without a plan, without a full plan to reinstitute, bring young people in and really, really fire towards the center of results for the people of Colorado, nobody's going to pay attention to a thing any of you have to say. And I just sat with a friend of mine in the other room, and I was like, bro, we were talking about this 9 months, 12 months ago. Is there an appetite by anyone to give to the Republican Party? He said no. And he sits in all those circles, lives in a big home, very successful. His wife is hugely successful. They're just really successful family, generationally successful. There's no appetite. And I was like, okay, but there's an appetite for me to come in and fix it, except for by this group of people that's run by people like Jeff Hunt. And what's sad is that he will destroy the community around him while telling everyone he's here to help. That's Jeff Hunt. And what's sad about that is that it doesn't have to be that way. We can come in, fix the Republican Party. I don't care who takes credit for it. And we get to frankly, you only got 10 months. So a 10-month plan, because you got to re-elect someone in February again. You got to go through the same process. Everyone gets left out, except for the people that are so selfishly engaged in destruction that they actually serve the Democrat Party. Victor Marks was right about one thing. The party is broken, and it was infiltrated by the Democrats. 100% that's true. The blueprint that they had way back when had to result in a chaotic and destroyed Republican Party, and they have not disappointed in any of that. Closest it came, I think, in my opinion, is Dave Williams, who came in, was able to raise money and do some good things. Christy Burton Brown, actually, I just found out that she raised more money than everyone. She raised $5.5 million. Probably a better GOP chair than I thought she was, because at least donors were paying attention to her, but the people hated her. And she let it eat her up. She didn't know how to speak to people that didn't like her. I didn't like her. But then again, maybe I was wrong. Maybe in the heat of 2020, 2021, and the Christy Burton Brown era, maybe I was wrong about her. Because at least she could come to the table and get people of influence to put money into the party so they could go forward. And more than I can say for Britta Horn or these other people that have destroyed the county chairs and the GOP inside those counties for a long time. All right. I'm reading some stuff about some other stuff that we have going on. Susan Rice says it's Oltmann derangement syndrome, ODS. It's true, Oltmann derangement syndrome. It's the same thing. I mean, if you look at it, I have been defamed for so long And the reality of it is that I've done some amazing things. I've accomplished some great things, but the radical leftists have done a good job of pushing me to the side. So it looks like Peter Tipton put his hand in the hat in the ring to be the AG. He would be a great AG. I was talking to Peter earlier this morning, and we were walking through some of the stuff that he's doing. And I talked to David, who's his counterpart in the law practice. And let me tell you something, Peter's been run through the ringer. If you go through your career, and he has 4 or 5 decades of being a lawyer, if you go through that and you don't have some run-ins with the bar, you're not a very good lawyer, because it means you're not fighting hard enough. Well, he had a couple of things that they wanted to basically throw at him, and he called me, and I was like, Peter, stop it. You do not have to apologize to me at all. Let's just get to work. Like, don't worry about me. We're good. Because I'm loyal than a drunk yard dog, and I know for a fact that he's a competent attorney. So, yeah, so it's, I think he would be a great AG. Here's what happened if he was the AG. If he was the AG, people would go to prison. You wouldn't have this dog and pony show. You wouldn't have people like Brian Cole, a black autistic man that they were throwing in jail and making him a patsy for, well, letting a CIA white woman go. Just the irony of it. It's just, I can't even tell you. It's ironic. It's ironic, which shows you that even they don't believe in this race deal. They just want to destroy the lives of someone innocent. Be like, maybe he'll get off. We'll just let him go. We'll give him probation because, he's autistic. We've let them ruin everything about our country. And they've done a good job of it. They've done a good job of it at every level. We just got to make sure that we have a little bit more of a voice than we've had up till this point. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Things over. I had a good conversation about them. I know it's going to be really fun to see how they try to work out the word salad of all the things that I talked about. Here's my prediction for, we have an assembly coming up on Saturday. My prediction is that Scott Bottoms will make it through. I don't think Mike Soul will make it through. I hope he does, because if he makes it through and Scott makes it through, then I don't think Victor Marx does. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and I want to believe that none of it's true. And that's how I started out, by the way. I started out with this idea of like, yeah, people take shots at him. But I went and met him. And then he lied about me. So when you lie over and over and over again about me, and I don't even care about you, and you put me in a basket and then have your campaign manager call and lie to me, I mean, literally try to sell me on some idea that's not true. I recorded it too, because once you've lost trust, then you just go through it. But maybe I'll just put that out. I'll put that out the night before the assembly. We got an uphill battle, guys. We got an uphill battle, but we got to continue to stay in the fight and do what's right. So let's pray it out, shall we? We're early again today. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more, all that fun stuff. It looks like Truth or John has a video up there. I don't know what video that is. Let me see if I can punch it up real quick to see what it is. Make sure I'm not missing anything. The Prather point, he's talking about don't nuke. Pray Trump doesn't nuke Iran. Oh, interesting. I'll go back and watch that. Thanks, Truther. I appreciate that. I'll go back and watch him watch this video. I remember this guy from somewhere. Who is this guy? Is that Jeff Prather? Huh, I think it is. All right, let's pray it out. Remember, you're the ambassadors of truth. You get to go ahead and share it. It was a pretty good show. Susan, God bless you as well. Let's pray. Let's pray it out and see. They never stick around. Like all the bad people never stick around long enough to actually get to the prayer part. But make sure you give me a thumbs up on Rumble on your way out. Don't stop. Just hit the little button to rumble up. Leave me a comment. Do all that stuff. Hit the share button on all the other platforms. But Father God, thank you for the time that we were able to have here today. And I ask you, Father, to give me the ability to have grace for people that I really just, frankly, I'm weary of. Father, I just ask you to give us the ability to have peace in all of this kind of chaos that we're dealing with, and to have discernment. And more importantly, to be able to stay on this path where we can get in the gap and do what's necessary to preserve our country. I know many of us are trying to figure out, what is it, what position, what are we supposed to do? Like, what's our part to play? And so, Father, I just ask you to make it clear to everyone that's listening that has a desire to serve, that they can be given the gifts that they need in order to participate in the restoration, restoring you to our community and our country. I know we talk about the synagogue of Satan, Father, and we talk about these bad people. My fear is that we are not creating a chasm wide enough or deep enough that it keeps everyone from being lumped in with these just really evil people. So I fear, Father, that'll lead to stuff that we don't want it to lead to. So I ask you to help in this area and help us to be able to define evil leaders like we have in Colorado, like they have in Virginia, like the woman that was just on here that basically said that white people are evil. We do pray at some point, Father, we'll get to a place where we can have peace, and we can judge people by their character, not by the color of their skin. We've created such massive divides. And I don't know what the answer is other than truth. Just speaking truth and letting people grab onto what they know they can see, not the innuendos and propaganda that are put in front of them. Help us, Father, that we can see through it, and we may not be discouraged or use it as the bias towards other people that we may meet that we know nothing about. And sooner or later, we get to this place where maybe we can rewrite, ignore what's happening to leadership and remove them and replace it with something that is representative of the goodness of our communities, which is a massive part of our communities. I ask you, Father, to give us this peace and give us this strength that we can continue to fight for good. I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right. I will see you guys later. Don't forget to tell you about the Davos of Space Gangster. Oh, yeah. There's a Davos get-together in Colorado Springs. It's really weird. Gammy was calling me on it. She didn't send me all the information on it yet, but we'll talk about it on here. Maybe I'll have her on so she can talk your ear off for about an hour. Anyway, Gammy is a fighter. So I say that and I laugh. She's been fighting. She sends stuff to the school board. She sends stuff to the legislatures. She is relentless. She also carries a gun, and she's well trained in it. SpaceSymposium.org in Colorado Springs. Yeah, we should probably go and infiltrate that. Maybe we'll get some what are they called? James O'Keefe stuff. Put it on and go in there and see what we can come up with. All right. I guess I'll see you guys later. She has daddy issues growing up. I agree, Joe. I don't know what that one is. 2. Let me see if I can go. I saw a comment up here. Let's see if I can figure out what it's 2. Jennifer Welsh, she had daddy issues. Yeah, she did have daddy issues. I agree with you fully. And she's a total lunatic. And people listen to her. They, bad people, stupid people, people that are dumb, listen to dumb people who create hateful environments like she did. The Jennifer Welsh, a completely horrible human being. All right. Oh, Susan says I have to have Gammy on, so I guess we'll have to have Gammy on. All right, I'll see you guys later. God bless you. Have a great day. Remember, be kind. It doesn't take any money to be kind.
rise up untamed. In the heart of the fire where the wild ones roam, Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real. No more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew. Truth matters through and through. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Tame nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave